everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kelly and Andy McPhee.
So what's your plan? What you got going on this year?
For this next year, I'm currently trying to get the R&U stuff continue to prosper and trying to build up the SFM stuff still. I'm currently on an SFM hiatus because I have to redo the intro for the podcasting, but yeah, I'm gonna get some more drivers on hopefully next year. I have a big list already and I'll invite you on many of them when available
Well,
is.
we'll have a good time and yeah.
Yep, I'm hoping to get out to some short tracks like maybe Mobile International Speedway or New Semra out in Florida. I'm hoping to get out to Mosport and, all that. So those are my motorsports goals at the moment and the Indianapolis 500.
That's a dream for me to go to the Indianapolis 500. I went to the Brickyard one year when the Cup Series was racing there and had a pit pass, which was a blast. But I'd like to go to the Indy 500. And it's
Yeah,
going to be on Fox. It's going to be on Fox this year. So
Yep. I really liked and enjoyed the time when you had Alan Bestwick and Eddie Cheever and Scott Goodyear, analyzing it.
yeah, and this is going to sound bad, but I did an interview with Alan Bestwick once,
hmm
and I recorded it, and then it wouldn't save. The interview wouldn't save, and it got lost. So I mean, that was a really good content interview. That it was right after ESPN lost its NASCAR deal, and we had a really we talked for like 20 minutes, and I wish I could go back and find that interview because that interview was really good.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened. That's happened to me before as well, but usually they're gracious enough to redo it when available.
Yeah, the other one that happened too with me was an interview I did with Todd Bodine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I have planned for next year, and I'm hoping to obviously keep my goals for traveling to other places. I just came out of Scotland this year, which was a lot of fun.
yeah, I bet that was a blast for you.
Yeah, for sure. So, what are you doing these days to keep yourself active in the autism, OCD, and all that while making sure that you don't relapse and all that? What do you do?
That's I'm on a lot of really good medication right now. And like I said, I went to treatment last year, spent the holidays in a place called Rogers Behavioral Health in the OCD clinic in Wisconsin, the best place in the world to get help for OCD. And if they're listening, I thank you for your time with me. I spent a good 2.5 months up there. Um, but yeah, the big thing with the OCD is you got to stay consistent on your meds or you're going to relapse. And I've had a couple of relapses since, or actually several, but I try to just go back and think about my time in treatment, the tools I've learned. But and the big part I have is a lot of people don't accept me for who I am. They don't, and that was kind of the problem that I've had with a couple of jobs I have is that, like, they weren't willing to work with me the way I needed them to. You get what I'm saying, kind of?
Yeah.
So I'm trying.
They weren't able to give you what you needed for those particular jobs to do it the way needed, right?
Yes, I'm trying to like figure out what the next step is. I'm gonna try to figure out where's a place I can't thrive. I've worked restaurant, I've worked retail, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work at Kohl's and to work at two local restaurants. But I got to figure out something that's going to make me happy. And that at the end of the day, I just wasn't happy at the end of those experiences. I feel I was always walking on eggshells. I felt like I was, just I was more focused on being friends with people than the actual job. And because I don't have many friends, and work at the time was my only social outlet, that's kind of where I kind of felt. I was just wanting to be friends with everybody, and that kind of took away from the actual job.
Got it. So it was a boundary issue, probably then. Yeah. Yeah, there's some pretty good books online and resources about, boundaries and, learning stuff that I've learned over the years, like reading The Room and all that stuff.
And I always struggled with boundaries because I've had a couple bosses that were really close to me and were willing to be my friends. So the last thing to happen is this particular manager was just in a different space in her life, and she couldn't be that person for me. And I respect that. But that's just what I was used to because I was used to all the bosses kind of taking me under their wing and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, as far as your NASCAR activism and your interviews you've done, how can you impact race fans and people around the world?
I like to look at it as this is someone who I'm someone who not really I'm autistic. I'm on the spectrum, and yet I was still able to get over 50 interviews with people in NASCAR just by being a startup podcaster. And I feel like if I could inspire anybody else who's trying to, like I have with you, anybody who's wants to do the same thing, I mean, go for it. Whether it's NASCAR or a different sport like NBA or NFL, just go for it. What's the worst they could do? They'll say no. I mean, I've been rejected on interviews many times, but it's just go for it. Go for your dreams, and if you want to be in the media, just interview people, just go for it. And worst they can do is say no, but you'll get your name out there, and you'll be successful.
Yep, that's right. So where can people find you?
You can add me on my Facebook page, Josh Mabe. I'm always willing to connect with people that want to talk. I don't really use Twitter much anymore, so mainly just Facebook.
Yeah, the new name for it, X, that's pretty vague, isn't it?
Yeah, we won't get into the political stuff of it, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's not what it used. Twitter's not what it used to be.
Yeah, it isn't. No, it isn't. You're right. Yeah, it's just name-wise, and it's just not the same. It's not enjoyable. But there's platforms like Relentless and Unstoppable, and
Yeah,
your platform.
check out Doug Kinney, Relentless and Unstoppable.
Thank you, Josh.
You're
So
welcome.
yeah, everyone, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence as we remember Bobby Allison and Fred Lorenzen, who passed away this year. Thank you. Bobby was a great champion and for the NASCAR community and for motorsports in general. Won the 1983 championship and won 3 Daytona 500s. Won 84 wins before he was finally acknowledged as an 85-time winner because of a situation from the 60s or 70s where he was unfairly denied a win that he deserved under the rules. And Fred Lorenzen was a champion in NASCAR and I believe a Daytona 500 winner, one of the NASCAR pioneers. They will never be forgotten. May they rest in peace. And everybody, happy holidays, and we'll see you next time on R&U.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear.